Okay, so this is going to be a tutorial all about Guitar Pro 7. So I'm on a Mac and I go down here and let's go ahead and open it up. So it looks a lot different, I noticed when I first opened it up, than Guitar Pro 6, what I had currently been using. So let me just start with this first screen. Just to get going here, they do have templates. That's what comes up here if you wanted to choose a pre-made template. Now what I'm going to show you is how to make your own template and what I've found out about changing the size of everything. But yeah, you could do a template if you wanted. So the first thing I did was I hit New File when I opened this up. Okay, and then this window comes up right here. Let's talk about it. Okay, first off, over here you can choose what you're going to be working with: electric guitar, acoustic guitar. Let's just choose acoustic. And the neat thing, you can choose steel, 12-string, nylon, resonator. I was really impressed that it actually had resonator guitar as a choice. So let's go ahead and choose that. And then down here, what you could do is you could, I believe this chooses whatever color you might want that to be. Say you wanted it to be blue. I think that's your track color, I guess, because you can have multiple tracks. And what kind of headstock you might want to choose just for a graphic, let's say. And then here, if you double click in here, you can change the name of that. Maybe you didn't want to say resonator, maybe you wanted it to say dobro or whatever. And then over here is the shortened version of that. So let's just actually call that dobro. Okay, and then when you go down to notation, both of these are clicked by default. And what this is if you can see real close, that's the number 5. So that, when you leave your mouse on it, that says tablature notation. So with both of these on, you're going to have tablature and standard notation. So just for our purposes, let's go ahead and just make it tablature for now, because that's what I do with my tabs. 6 strings is good. Let's just leave it at guitar. Now right here is real important. This is your tuning. This is standard tuning. When we leave our mouse on that, you can see it says standard pitches E, A, D, G, B, E. E, A, D, G, B, E. So what we want is open G, but we want actually dobro open G, because they have different open Gs. Here's open G, and that's D, G, D, G, B, D. So that's what's called a low G tuning. And then down here is a dobro tuning. But you know, you could do open D if you wanted, right there. D, A, D, F sharp, A, D. And if you're ever curious what the tuning is, just leave your mouse on it, don't move it, and that tuning will come up. C6. It's a different C6 tuning. But okay, let's go ahead and choose open G. And you can hear it play that tuning. If you want to hear what this sound, our sound is, just hit this play button. It just plays you a major scale. So we got that. We just hit create, and it brings up this. Now, as you can tell, you might be saying, well, where's everything else at? This is real small. Well, let's go ahead and fix that. Okay, so the first thing, when you open it up, it looks like this, right? Where you don't have anything on the left and nothing on the right. So if we click this little button here, that opens up all of our notation, like key signatures, quarter note, eighth note, all that stuff. If we click this box, that opens up this area on the right. So okay, over on the right here, and this is all of our like score information, the title, all that stuff. Notice that if you click more, then we get all these other options here. You can make a title. Let's call it test score, or let's just call it test. Artist lessons with Troy. I think I'd already put this in before, so this is coming up again. Now, right here it says words. Now I'm going to change this, because normally I leave that blank and I go down here and under music I put my name. And that might be where you see it in my tab come up on the right side. And I'll show you how to change, instead of saying music, it'll say arranged by. I'll show you how to change that. Copyright. If you want to put your copyright, put mine down in there. Okay, now let's make this bigger and try to get rid of this tuning up here first. So what we want to do is open up right here at the bottom where you click not track, but you click song. Right, make sure that's open, and at the bottom it says style sheet. We want to open up our style sheet. Okay, you have at the top here, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different tabs. Let's go ahead and go page and score format. So first off, I like to change my global size a little bit bigger. So I go down here and I put it at 1.98. I think by default it's at 1.5, and that's why it's so small. So 1.98. Now, nothing will happen until you hit apply. So make sure you hit apply. Notice how everything got bigger. So we're getting closer there. Now the next thing I want to do, let's get rid of this tuning right here. I believe if we go down, notice how in each one of these windows, you can scroll, right? So on this first window or tab, let's scroll down to tuning. Display tuning on. We want that. Now position, right now it's at the top of the score, meaning right here. I like it at the side, so before the tablature. Hit apply. Okay, that's good, but notice how everything's running off the side. We need to adjust our margins. So up here, still at the top of page and score format, let me put this instead of 10, let's put it to 20. Okay. So now we have a little bit more margin on the side there. I think you can indent too that first line. That might be more what we want to do. I have to figure out. Oh, here it is. First system indentation. Okay, so let's put it back to 10. See if we can indent that first line. So I go to systems and stabs, check this box for first system indentation, and let's go 10. See what happens there. There. So that gives us some more room, and then our next stabs will be a little bit closer to the left, giving us some more room down lower. Okay, now I don't necessarily like this font, this New Times Roman for my title. So what I do is go to text and style, or no, headers and footers. There we go. So title, right now, don't change anything really in between the percentage signs. That'll keep it to where when you adjust it over here on the right, it'll adjust the title for you. So we want to choose a different font. So right now it's Times New Roman. I like, well, let's just do one that I like, Tiki Surf. And let's make it bigger. So maybe, let's say 32. Hit apply. Apply. And there we go. So you can make that bigger if you wanted maybe more room on the top. Maybe make that margin 10. There you go. So now or not more room, but less room on the top, right? Make it a smaller margin. And you can keep going with this, change whatever fonts you want. Make sure you scroll down. Now, what I like to do is here where it says, I think I normally just do music. So you could change this, see where it says music by, just change that to arranged. Make sure I'm spelling that right. Arranged by. And then hit apply. Notice how it changes it up there. Kind of cool. Okay, now let's just put in let's hit OK. Let's put in a note here. Or a few notes. Let's say we want to play open, and then hammer on to 2nd fret, and then slide up to 5th fret. And we want to make this a quarter note, and this a half note. Okay, now how you do that, first of all you got to do is hit the number key to change whatever fret numbers you want, right? Now, I tell you what, before we go and I change the rhythm and all that, I don't like this in the tablature. I don't like these lines being in there like that all the way. That's just not the way I like it. So I hit Style Sheet again. And now I go over to Notation over here. And Let's see. Okay. See how the box is checked that says extend rhythmic inside tablature? Let's uncheck that and hit apply. Ah, there we go. Now that's gone. Okay, now all you have to do, say you want 0 to 2. Well, first of all, let's make sure these are the right notations. So that's a quarter note. That's right. If you look over here, see how the quarter note's checked, and this is what quarter note looks like that. And if you ever wanted to see the notation too, keep in mind, how did we do that? Let's go to track over here on the right, hit track, and then leave your notation, then hit the note, or leave the tablature, hit the notation chart, so that comes up. So we can see what the notation would look like. Looks like that, if you ever want to double check. So we want to make this a half note, which is half or double the value of a quarter note. You could hit shift plus sign. I'm sorry. Ugh. Okay, you can hit, let me slow down just a little bit, show you what all I did right there. So I messed up, right? I hit shift plus. What that did is that actually gave me the opposite. Instead of going down in value, it went up in value. It turned in a quarter note into an eighth note. Notice this little flag there, and when you look at the standard notation, you can see what that looks like. Okay, so what you want to do if you ever mess up is hit on the Mac, it's Command Z, right? Goes in that just like when you're doing a Word document or whatever, and you mess up, Command Z a lot of times takes you back, undoes what you did. Okay, so what you want to do instead of shift plus sign, which turns that quarter note into an eighth note, just hit the minus sign. Now, this is kind of weird in this version. Notice how it did change it to a half note. If we click on this, see how it's on a half note value over here? And by the way, you can just go over here and click too if you want. I'm just showing you keyboard shortcuts. But you can go over there. But notice how it has a circle around the 5. I don't like that either. So let's go back over here to the right, hit song. Let's go to our style sheet. And I believe that's under notation. Okay, let's see where this is. Okay, right here on the first one, rhythmic. Under notation, under style sheet, the box is checked for display circle around half and whole. We don't want that checked. There we go. It's just what I'm used to from Guitar Pro 5 and Guitar Pro 6. And now this is quarter note, and then half that bar line is for half note. Cool. So we want to do a hammer on 0 to 2. It's real easy. Just put on your first note, right? Put it on there and hit H. And then that curved line with the H over it, that's kind of new for Guitar Pro 7 versus 6. That means hammer on. 0 to 2, hammer on. Say we want to do a slide, 2 to 5, just hit S. And it does this line, puts that curved line, and does SL period. That's new also for Guitar Pro 7 that I've noticed. But that to me, that makes total sense. H for hammer on, SL for slide. And you'll be doing that a lot with slidey instruments. Now, if you ever want to go over, create a new measure, just hit the over button, or over arrow, I mean. You can keep adding measures to it if you want. And say you got the notation wrong. This is 4/4 time here. Say you actually did put a quarter note there. Remember, to make this a smaller value, hit shift plus sign, or go over here and hit just the quarter note. Whatever's faster for you. Oops, minus, and then, oops, minus. Yeah, so say we did that, and we just went over to the next bar. Okay. Right, this is wrong rhythm notation here. We have 3 beats inside this measure, but we have 4/4 time. We should have 4 beats. So notice how it makes it red. Anytime you see that red, that means you've made the wrong rhythmic value into that measure. It didn't equal out to the right amount of beats for your time signature. So just fix that, make that a half note by hitting the minus sign. That works there. Now, say we like this. We wanted to make this into a template, right? Something that we can use over and over again. All you got to do is go up here to File and hit Save as Template. So let's do that. Let's just create our test. We're going to call this Test Template. And it saves it under this folder, My Templates. Okay. So we got our test template there. And, you could always go through here and delete that. All you got to do is, what I like to do, you can either double click the measure and you can just hit delete. If you ever mess up and you want to go back to what you did, Command Z or whatever it would be on a PC. Say you wanted to remove this entire measure, just double click in there. I don't think delete. No, that doesn't. Does that delete the whole measure? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We just hit delete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so that didn't delete the bar or measure. Just right click on that. Choose bar, right? Within that measure somewhere, right click. Go down to bar, delete bar. And that would delete one of your bars. You have all these other options when you right click. Say you want bar or note, all that. Let's not get into that just yet. Okay, let's go back to here. And let's see what else we got. Now, the cool thing with Guitar Pro 7 too is that versus Guitar Pro 6 or 5 is that all you got to do, see when you leave your mouse on, like say the time or the tempo, it highlights it, just double click it and it pulls up your tempo settings, and you can tap a tempo if you want over here where it says tap. You can set it to different note values, quarter note, or say you're in like 6/8 time and maybe you would want it to be a dotted quarter note. Whatever, let's just leave it at quarter note. You can double click in here too and set that to whatever you want. When you like it, hit OK. Changes that. Say you wanted a different time signature. Right now we got 4/4. Just double click that. 6/8, 12/8, whatever you want. Right, and that changes your time signature. Ever want to change your title? Just go over here. Make sure these all your windows are open. Your left window, center window, right window, and change your title to whatever you want, anything over there. Just make sure too that if this is small like that, you just click more to where you can see everything. And there's a lot more you can do under your style sheet too when you open that up. Let me see if there's any big things that actually there is. So, okay, let me show you something. So say you wanted to indicate the right hand fingering, which is common, what I do a lot. Go over here and, put it on the note, whatever note you want over here. See that right hand? Click that. Then you get this window that pops up. You can move it around just by grabbing it. And notice how it says PIMAC. We don't want that. We want thumb, index, middle, right? So go to your style sheet. Go to notation over here all the way to the right. Notation, make sure that's open. Scroll down all the way to where it says right hand fingering. And choose TIMA, thumb, index, middle. The only problem with this, and some people have pointed this out to me, is that it's lowercase. So the T and the I's a lot of times look the same. And I cannot, if you know how to change that, I don't know how to change that. It might be somewhere within the text and the styles. I don't see anywhere there where you can change that. But maybe one of these, I haven't went through this, maybe one of these would change that, to where you could make that all capitals, let's say. But then when you do that and you say you wanted middle. Okay, now this is different. It's putting it on top. So let's go ahead and open that style sheet back up. Go to notation. Okay. Now, down here under right hand where it says position and tablature, right now it says above. I always liked it below. So you hit below, hit apply, and there it is. So now we're getting somewhere. Hit OK. Now say you made a bunch of changes to your template. Just go back up here to File, Save as Template. I'm just going to save it as the same, I think we said test template. And we want to overwrite that. There we go. So then when we want to do a new template, all we have to do is go up here to File, or when that first window opens, test-template, I think is what I chose. So you choose that, and that's that template that you've created. Okay, another neat thing here is, okay, say we want, let's see here, say we want to do a different tuning. Okay. Over here on the right side, when you hit track, you hit tuning, just hit that box, and then this comes down. This is super cool. So if you wanted to tune, let's say, see, here's your tuning. Here's your thickest string to thinnest string. It actually looks thick to thin. Just do that. Hit that play button right here. Hit it again to stop it. All right, that's super cool. Say you wanted a different tuning. Maybe you wanted, like a C6 tuning. You go up here, 6 strings, guitar, dobro open G. Let's say C6 here. Okay, so it does this, C, G, right? I don't know. So here's your C. Now normally it's C, E, G, A, C, E, which I'm not sure what this C, this is a different C6 tuning I'm used to. So if you ever wanted to change this, you could hit, let's see. So notice how you can go, it was on G. So I went down, G, F sharp, F, E. So there's C, E. And then it says C. We probably want C, E, and that to be G. So we keep going down. There's G. And you can play it. C, E. That should be G. There we go. C, E, G. And now this, your third string, we would want that to be the 6th of your tuning. So instead of G, we would want A. So you bring that up. G sharp, A. Now we've got C, E, G. Ooh, that sounds a little too high, doesn't it? Maybe let's bring that down an octave. Maybe off an octave, I'm not sure. Okay, so C, E, G, A, C. Then I changed this one here. Yeah, I'm not sure the octave on this. That might be too low. But anyways, you get it. You might want to test that with your guitar to make sure you got the right octave there. I'm not going to fiddle with that anymore, but or just Google that too.